Good morning. I'm Chris with Bow Hunting Junkies. I've been filming for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. Worked with a couple of different shows. Currently self-filming with Bow Hunting Junkies. I have accumulated several arms. I have my trusty Muddy, which that's Old Faithful. Everybody that's been in the business for years has a Muddy camera arm. Mine happens to be the Hunter arm, but I have the Outfitter base. Outfitter, I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. I also have a 4th Arrow. This is the Stiff Arm Pro model. Probably could have got away with the stiff arm, but I ordered it when they were first coming out and their specs weren't quite released, so I wanted to make sure I got one heavy duty enough for the camera I have now, which is an XA10 and a Manfrotto 701 fluid head, but also if I upgrade to, say, the Canon XF200, which is the camera I'd like to have, I want to make sure that the arm I have will hold it up. Got a new one here from Out on a Limb Manufacturing, and I've played with it a little bit. It's different. It's not technically like the rest of them, but they're all rated about the same. Today I'm going to review these 3 arms. I know there's a couple of more companies out there. I don't have those arms. I haven't bought them. If I buy another camera arm, my wife might kick me out, truthfully. So today we're going to set them all up side by side on a tree and see how long they are, how they move, and we'll do it without my camera on them. And then I may add a 501 Manfrotto head and my DSLR, because obviously I need to videotape with my XA10. I may throw the XA10 on to show how smooth they move. I don't know. We'll just have to figure it out. I have 2 setups I'm going to do. One on a straight tree, and then I have a downed limb, well, down tree, that is at an angle, and I'm going to mount each one of these on that and see how easy it is to adjust them to make that arm level to work on a crooked tree. So we shall see how it works. This ought to be fun. All right, getting everything set up. Oops. Help if you unscrew the locking bolt. That's a little crooked. We'll get it all leveled out. Got a bubble level on this one, right here on the arm. Pretty easy to set. A locking screw so it doesn't do anything. This one here for left and right are crooked trees. We get it all nice and level. Tighten that down. There's a lot of similarities between these arms. The Muddy and the 4th Arrow arm itself, not much difference. Tension bolt nut here and here. Definitely need to get them set before you go in the woods, because you're not going to turn them with a hand. You got to have a wrench or a big pair of channel locks or something. I know the Muddy does not have a bearing in it. It's just a bolt. I've taken it apart. I cleaned it. I've lubed it because I do leave it out in the tree. That's as loose as it gets. It's not too bad. The 4th Arrow, the way it came, it's tight. Very tight. Way too tight for me. Moves a lot easier now. Loosen this up, and it didn't take much at all. Loosened it up very little. I'm not sure if they have bearings in here or not, but it is very smooth, as you can see. The Out on a Limb arm, there's a bearing here, here, and here. And these little knobs right here adjust the tension. And as you can see, you can loosen them up and this thing will snake quite well. I like that, especially hunting in a tree stand, because you can get it by you a lot easier than you can get one of these by you. You have to lean out away from the tree to get one of these by you. You can lock this section down, and only this one moves. I mean, you can lock it all down and none of it will move. It'll just be straight. See a lot of use for this one. It's new. I really like it. As far as adjustments, You saw this one being adjusted. The Muddy, you know, industry standard knob for up and down. Bubble level is on the arm, which since putting the arm on, it's not quite right. Left and right, done with these friction tabs. Fourth Arrow's got it different. I mean, they're different than everything. You can see how well this thing flows. It's hitting me in the back, so we'll lock it down. This one, this is a shoulder, like a knuckle mount. It's pretty neat. You use that tool right there for tightening and everything. It's just a round adjustment. You get everything with one shot. I've read reviews, if you lose this, you can use a screwdriver. I think it's like 1/4 inch rod or 5/16 inch rod or something. You can always replace it if you lose it. Mine's attached. The one thing I really wish they would change on the Fourth Arrow, you can see how shiny that is, and these bolts, but the ratchet strap's pretty shiny too. It's brass or zinc plated. If you can put a ratchet strap on a tree, you can mount any of these. They're all ratchet straps. Stiff Arm Pro, supposed to have 2 straps. I'm not using a real heavy camera yet, so I've only put one on. But, I mean, it is what it is. It is very smooth, as you can see. They all have their merits. I mean, truthfully, my Muddy, it's outclassed at this point because it isn't smooth. I've used it for years. I do like it, but it isn't smooth at all. Not as smooth as these with bearings. And I really think this one has a bearing in it, but like I said, I haven't taken it apart, and Fourth Arrow doesn't have it on their website as to having a bearing. There's a bubble level right there on the Fourth Arrow, as I said, here and on the arm on this one. The difference in length from the tree to the screw, this one's 46 inches because of the fact this does sit away from the tree. The out on a limb and the Fourth Arrow are, this one's 41 basically, and the out on a limb is about 42, so it's about an inch longer, and that's all. It's in this. It's not the arm. The arms are pretty much all about the same length. So, I mean, this is very smooth, and since loosening this one up, this is very smooth. I doubt that this one's going to go into the tree stand with me anymore. I did have a problem hunting out of my climber with this one. I had to really adjust how I set up because this arm was hitting the side of my climber, and when that arm hits, all you get is this. This one I haven't had a problem hunting my climber. It sets up good. I like the fact it comes straight off the tree and not, I mean, you're looking at 10 inches here lower than where it comes off. The Muddy is about the same, about 10 inches. Fourth Arrow does have an accessory hook here. It doesn't do me any good. I have a giant backpack, so I can't hang anything off of it. It is neat to have. Nobody else has that. This one comes straight off, which really makes it more conducive to tree stand hunting. This one was specifically designed to go on crooked trees. So we'll do that later. This one's supposed to go on crooked trees. My Muddy, I don't know if it will or not. I've never put it on a crooked tree. So, I mean, it's nice. I think I'm gonna put my DSLR and 501 head on here, on each one, and show y'all how they move with a fluid head. And which my 501 and my DSLR are about the same weight as my XA10 and my 701 head, Manfrotto heads. Everything's got the same bolt in it for my Manfrotto heads. Out on a limb, Fourth Arrow come with different screws for that, for different cameras and different fluid heads. Everything I got is set the same because I'm using Manfrotto heads. So let me get the head mounted on one and we'll start doing it. All right, we're gonna start with the Muddy. As you can see, 501 fluid head. I can control it with one arm. It's really not a big deal. It is loose enough to do. Occasionally you got to kind of do your thing, but it does work. It's not bad, not too much bounce, no more than I would expect for what I'm doing. All right, got it on the 4th arrow. According to my bubble level on my fluid head, it's not straight, but on this bubble level it is, so it's nothing to really adjust it. Kind of swung out when I did that. I might not have had it tight enough. It does kind of sag. I haven't used this one a lot. I do have it, and I have used it, just not as much as I've used the Muddy. It does kind of sag, but the newer model I think tightens up better than this one. This was one of the first ones. As you can see, it does move. It moves quite well, actually. It's not too bad. Like I said, this is about the same weight as my other setup. But pivots here good. It's a little tight there, but this is tight anyway. Even putting it in, it may have something on it. I don't know. I haven't checked it. It's always been tight, but I don't mind it being a little bit of tight. A little bit of tension kind of helps keep it where it needs to be. All right, we got it on the out on the limb. I don't know if I got these things. Yeah, let me loosen that one up. I do like the fact that you can adjust the tension on the bearings on this arm in the field, because if you do get it loose, it works pretty well. As you can see, that one's a little, I mean, it's definitely moves around quite a good bit. I did have to adjust the levelness on it. Still getting used to it. I mean, you get the tension right, it'll stay. But it does have, does have bearings in it all the way around. You can get it pretty close to you. It'll go around the tree. They all will, pretty much. So, I mean, it works pretty good. I don't have any complaints with this one yet, at all. I mean, I have a few issues with my Muddy. It's not too bad. I got a couple of issues with the 4th arrow, but that's kind of a design issue on most of it. 4th arrow works pretty good. Bases, you can get extra bases for the 4th arrow, $39 a piece for this model. I know you can buy bulk packs for the regular stiff arm, which is a pretty good deal. $40 for the out on a limb manufacturing, and I believe it's $79 on the Muddy for just a base. I do leave my bases in the tree. I'll leave my base and armor if I'm going back that afternoon or the next day. I do not leave my fluid head in the tree. I think it does come in handy if you got a base similar to this out on a limb, or maybe even the 4th arrow, because they're small and you leave it on a tree and it's not a problem. Leaving this one on a tree hunting in a climber, this one's just big. It's bulky. It gets in the way. But packing it in and out, it takes up a lot of room in my backpack where these don't. So, advantage on bulkiness goes to the out on a limb and the 4th arrow. I mean, that's pure and simple. But Muddy's been around for years. Maybe they'll innovate, change a few things with the new competition coming out. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. You know, but they're a proven product. Out on a limb is new to the market. That's the first I've seen them. I talked to the owner. I bought one because I'm all about trying to make it easier on me as a self-filmer, especially a self-filming bow hunter. You need something that's easy to set up, fairly decent, fairly quiet. Small enough to pack in because you're already carrying a lot of gear. And truthfully, I like this one for packing in. I can actually get this arm in my fanny pack, my Tenzing cameraman's fanny pack, where I cannot get these two arms in there at all. The bases are fine, but I can put this whole thing in my fanny pack with my camera. which is impressive to say the least. I can't do that with these. I wish I could. Keep expecting a deer to come up. I got a food plot right behind me. But that's pretty much it. We'll go set it up on a crooked tree next. You see this tree is really crooked, you know. Where I hunt, this is not normal, but these were all pretty much designed to be put on trees like this. I'm gonna show you how simple it is to make that adjustment. This one's easy enough. The only problem, that's all the adjustments you get on a muddy. That's it. That's all she wrote. So, you can't put the muddy on this tree. I've never tried to put it on a crooked tree until today. Never really felt the need to. So, you only get a little bit of adjustment on a muddy. I guess if I was hunting in out west or someplace that has a bunch of crooked cottonwoods or something, then I probably wouldn't take my muddy. The fourth arrow, once again, because of this lovely shoulder. And this sleeve is tight, but I don't mind it being tight. It is holding thousands of dollars worth of equipment up. Loosen that up. Didn't get it quite loose enough. Come up just a little bit, using the bubble level. Fourth arrow works on a crooked tree, as you can see. And all these came straight off the straight tree back there. It's just a simple adjustment at this piece right here. You just use the tool, straighten it up. Now, let me move this one out of the way. The out on a limb arm. Let me just put it right in here. And actually, tighten that down. Unscrew this knob right here. Tighten that up. Locking nut. Now, as you can see, this one works on a crooked tree too. So fourth arrow and out on a limb, they both work on a crooked tree. Quite well, I might say. I don't think I quite got this one level enough, but it ain't nothing but to adjust it. And that levels it up. Might have gone a little too far. That's it. Pretty much there you have it. You got the fourth arrow right here. Got out on a limb. Got the muddy, which doesn't work on a crooked tree. One thing I will say about fourth arrow, and I hope that they watch this video, I wish there was a hook on the strap, because threading a ratchet strap in a deer stand is a downfall. Personally, I don't like doing that. I mean, you're up in a tree anyway, and like I said, I hunt out of a climber a lot. I'd really like to be able to grab a hook and stick it around it. The muddy has a loop that goes around their patented muddy knob. This one has hooks on it. This one is attached to the base, so you have to thread it. So that would be the only thing I would change on the fourth arrow. Would be that, and making that darker. You can see the sun shining off of that one now. It's bright. It reflects pretty bad. The rest of them don't. I got to get me a lanyard to put on these, but that's so I can clip that to my camera so it don't drop it out of the tree when I'm taking it on and off my camera arm. That's pretty much it. I'm done. If there's anything y'all would like to see, let me know.